It was the largest combat arena in the Orion sector, a colossal ring of black alloy floating above the city, like a crown of war. Thousands of alien species filled the massive viewing stands, their voices blending into a roaring storm of cheers, laughter, and anticipation. Warriors came here from every corner of the galaxy. Some came for glory. Some came for money. Most came to prove they were the strongest beings alive. Very few left undefeated. High above the arena floor, in a private observation chamber, stood Princess Lyris of the Kalari. Her silver-blue skin reflected the arena lights, and her long white hair flowed behind her like starlight. She was young by Kalari standards, yet already famous across several systems, not for fighting, but for judging warriors. For years, Lyris had watched battles from this exact chamber. She had seen giants who could tear starship doors from their hinges. She had watched insectoid generals who fought with 6 blades at once. She had witnessed telepathic warriors collapse opponents without even lifting a finger. And yet, none of them impressed her anymore. They are all the same, she sighed quietly. Beside her stood Commander Varek, a veteran Kalari officer. You say that every season, Princess, he replied. Because every season it remains true. Lyris leaned against the glass, watching 2 enormous reptilian warriors clash below. One swung a massive plasma axe. The other blocked with an energy shield. The crowd roared, but Lyris only looked bored. Strength without purpose, she said. Violence without intelligence. Commander Varek chuckled softly. You judge them harshly. They are warriors, she replied. They should be worth judging. Below them, the reptilian fighter finally slammed his axe through his opponent's shield, knocking the other creature unconscious. The crowd erupted with cheers. Lyris didn't even blink. Predictable. Varek crossed his arms. Then perhaps the next challenger will entertain you. Lyris raised an eyebrow. Oh, a new competitor arrived this morning. Another giant brute? Not exactly. Varek tapped a control panel. The holographic roster appeared beside them. Lyris read the name. Ethan Carter, species human. She frowned. Human. Varek nodded. A relatively young species in the galactic community. I've heard of them. They aren't unusual. Lyris tilted her head. Unusual how? Varek hesitated slightly. They do not possess natural armor. No claws. No venom. No telepathy. Lyris looked amused. So fragile. Yes. Then why is he here? Varek smiled faintly. That, he said, is what I'm curious about. A few minutes later, the arena announcer's booming voice echoed across the stadium. Next challenger entering the arena. A large gate opened below. Out stepped a single figure. The crowd murmured. The warrior looked small. Compared to the towering fighters who usually competed here, the newcomer barely reached the height of the arena guards. He wore simple combat armor and carried no oversized weapons. Just a short blade strapped to his side. Princess Lyris leaned closer to the glass. So that is a human? Yes. He looks ordinary. The man stepped into the center of the arena calmly, scanning the massive stadium. There was no fear in his face. No arrogance either. Just quiet focus. His opponent, the announcer continued, is the undefeated champion of the Western systems, Gorath the Titan. The arena shook as another gate opened. Something enormous stepped through. Gorath was nearly 4 meters tall. A massive armored creature with 4 arms and skin like black stone. The crowd erupted. Gorath, Gorath, Gorath. Lyris sighed. This will last 10 seconds. Commander Varek didn't respond. Down below, Gorath cracked 2 of his arms like thunder. Then he looked at the human. Tiny. The human simply smiled. Name's Ethan. Gorath laughed loudly. You challenge me? You're standing in the ring, aren't you? The Titan grinned. Then I will break you quickly. The horn sounded. The fight began. Gorath charged first. The ground shook with every step. Lyris crossed her arms. Predictable. Gorath swung a massive fist toward the human's head. Ethan moved. Not with speed alone. With precision. He stepped sideways just enough for the fist to miss. The punch smashed into the arena floor, cracking the stone. The crowd gasped. Ethan calmly walked around the giant. Lyris frowned slightly. Interesting. Gorath roared and swung again. Ethan ducked, then rolled under the Titan's legs. Gorath turned confused. The human wasn't fighting like the others. He wasn't trying to overpower the giant. He was studying him. Every movement, every step, every weakness. Minutes passed. Gorath became angrier with each failed attack. You run, the Titan roared. Ethan shrugged. I prefer thinking. The crowd began murmuring. This wasn't the fight they expected. Lyris leaned forward. Her boredom was gone. Commander. Yes, he hasn't attacked once. Correct. But Gorath is already exhausted. Varric nodded slowly. Humans are known for endurance. Below them, Gorath swung again. Wildly this time. Ethan finally moved forward. Fast. In one smooth motion, he leapt onto the Titan's arm, ran up his shoulder, and drove his blade into a joint between Gorath's neck plates. The Titan froze, then collapsed like a falling mountain. The entire arena fell silent. Then exploded. The crowd screamed. They had just witnessed the impossible. Princess Lyris stared at the arena floor. What? Commander Varric smiled slightly. The human won. Yes, I see that. She turned back to the glass. The small warrior stood calmly beside the fallen giant. He pulled his blade free and wiped it clean. Not celebrating, not boasting, just breathing. Lyris whispered quietly. He defeated Gorath without brute strength. Correct. Without advanced weapons. Yes. Without armor. Yes. She looked back down at the human again. For the first time in years, Princess Lyris felt something new. Curiosity. Later that evening, in a quiet corridor beneath the arena, Ethan Carter sat on a bench drinking water. His fight suit was scratched, but otherwise he looked relaxed. A group of alien technicians passed by, whispering about the human who defeated Gorath. Ethan ignored them. He was used to attention after fights. What he didn't expect was the sudden silence. He looked up. Standing at the end of the hallway was a tall figure with silver-blue skin. Royal guards stood behind her. Ethan blinked. Well, that looks official. Princess Lyris walked toward him slowly. Her glowing eyes studied him carefully. You are the human. And you are? Princess Lyris of the Kalari. Ethan stood politely. Nice to meet you, Princess. Her gaze didn't leave him. You defeated Gorath. I noticed. You are not physically stronger than him. Nope. Yet you won. Ethan shrugged. That happens. She narrowed her eyes. How? Ethan smiled. Strategy. Explain. He leaned against the wall. Gorath was stronger, bigger, heavier. Yes. But he was also slower, less patient. Lyris listened carefully. So you let him waste energy. Exactly. And waited for weakness. Exactly. She was silent for a moment. Then she asked quietly, Why? Ethan blinked. Why what? Why fight at all? He thought about that for a moment, then said simply, Humans don't enter fights to show strength. She tilted her head. Then why? Ethan smiled slightly. To survive. For the first time that day, Princess Lyris smiled. Not politely, not politically, but genuinely. I have watched warriors for many years, human. Ethan folded his arms. And you are the first one who fought with your mind before your body. He laughed. Well, brains are lighter than muscles. She stepped closer. You will fight again tomorrow. Probably. Good. Why? Her eyes sparkled slightly. Because, she said quietly, I would like to see what else humans can do. Ethan chuckled. Careful, princess. Oh, you might start rooting for us. She crossed her arms confidently. That is unlikely. Ethan grinned. We'll see. As she turned to leave, Lyris paused for a moment, then said something softly, almost to herself. I have seen the galaxy's strongest fighters. Ethan raised an eyebrow. And she looked back at him. But I have never seen one like you. And for the first time in years. Princess Lyris couldn't wait to watch the next battle.